Do you ever wonder why tarot seems to be right a small percentage of the time, but from what I remember from the stories that I had heard about, and I no longer, I don't look into this anymore, certainly not tarot, but I mean like investigating certain things about it. I won't get into that kind of stuff. But do you ever wonder why, when you did look at tarot, and I'm sure a lot of Christians, before they find out who God really is, right? I just think we're spiritual in nature, you know, before we come to God. I think we already are, and we're out searching for answers and stuff like that. But do you ever wonder, you know, these stories of like Ouija boards and tarot, but tarot is the one where they study these cards. I knew someone who did that, we call it professionally, and then they actually died. But why is it that they're right when you walk into it? This is just my perception of people who go into tarot for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of a lover, maybe because it's you want to know things about people, maybe it's because you had someone that died and there were unanswered questions, or you just want to go and see what's up. My perception is this, that when you first step into it, that you'll get more truth than you ever will if you're in it for a number of months, or especially years of listening to this trash. How is it possible that these things are actually telling you the truth? And I want to make a very clear distinction here that I don't hear elsewhere. That, sorry, I don't mean to say it that way, but I don't hear it anywhere else, because I've actually looked at this. Why is it that, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Why is it that these things are right? How is that possible? I just never hear this part talked about. Certainly in a Christian, a born-again believer. There's something more to this than reading cards, and nobody can predict the future except the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. God, one, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, are the only one who can predict the end from the beginning. But what's going on here? How is it possible that this is happening? And I'm going to get to that. I just went for a walk, guys, so I'm like, just have a lot of spasms in my esophagus, my throat and esophagus. I want to say this before I move on to that topic. I'm making a prediction, not a prophecy, from something I see right now. I want to see if it comes true. The government shutdown. It's on, I think I believe it's correct that it's on day 31. My prediction is that it's going to end on day, what do you think? 33? Do you think it will end on 33? That is my prediction because of that they keep repeating that. Trump does. And what was it again that was 33? Oh, we found him in 33 hours. 3 Atlas is 33 billion tons. Government shutdown, we'll see. We'll see. I'll do my own type of tarot. My born again type of tarot. No, I'm just making a prediction. It's not a prophecy. Will it end on day 33? And if it ends on day 33, you know truly how evil they are. They are evil anyways. And I also wanted to mention this. I'll get into this, but I just wanted to say this to a couple or a few of my regular viewers. If in fact you are, I'm not looking in my comment section. You guys know that. I told you. but I remember you, Burkino and Bolsonaro Doors, and any women who watch my channel regularly. Pardon me if I forget your names, because what I'm talking in specifics here, I don't mean to say the men all the time, brothers. It's because of the conversations that we had of a specific issue, Donald Trump being the Antichrist. But no, it was this. I just wanted to raise this, and I'm going to get into tarot and why it seems that it can predict the future. Okay, I know the answer. You'll see. What was I gonna say? This has been happening to me lately, where I just like completely go blank. So much on my mind, and just talking about tarot. Yes. So we talked about this. You saw on my channel that I accurately, only by looking at the asteroid Apophis, after watching Tom Horn's video, I believed in my heart that I should listen to what he's saying and calculate, because he's no longer here. His biggest focus was looking at what Apophis was, because it matches exactly wormwood. It's the perfect size, and if it hits the ocean, which it says in Revelation will hit the sea, a burning mountain, you know, in the trumpets there's more than one thing seems to come from the sky. It could break up in pieces. It could also be another one that we don't know about. I think they're in succession, whatever the trumpets, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I just wanted to say this. You saw my videos. You saw the evidence that I was saying, you know, let's calculate. So Tom Horn said, if Apophis is wormwood, then we determine, as any studying Christian would do, that trumpet 1 would be the midpoint, or something like that. And when someone says no one knows the day or the hour, that's fine. And it could be days off, and that's why. But if it is, if Apophis is wormwood, so I counted back as he said to do. And we waited for the date to pass, which was October 13th. Remember, we did the calculations for months. We were counting it down. And then I forgot about it. And I don't know, like, what was this, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe most 3 weeks ago? I can look back at my videos. I looked because I'm like, oh man, I forgot. Let's go look at what's happening on that date. And it fell on the signing of the deal in Egypt, Peace 2025. So I should have said that more quickly, but I wanted to give you an outline. That's amazing. Like, even though I'm not looking in the comment, I'll look in the comment sections today. If you guys are watching this, and any other one of my normal viewers, what do you think that it landed on that day? It landed on the day that would meet the qualifications perfectly of Daniel 9:27. It happened. The whole Christian world was talking about it, but they weren't talking about Apophis and how what I believed it anyways without him, Apophis, but I didn't know to do that count backwards to get the date of tribulation. And again, someone's going to say, you don't know the day or the hour. You don't know where I'm coming from. You're ignoring the whole picture of what I'm saying. You're not focusing on if it is wormwood. It landed on that day of all days. What are the biblical chances that would happen? But it happened. Does that mean it's true? I believe so. We've been watching very closely all these things. So I'm just going to take a bit of an orange here, and I'm going to talk about this as much as I know how. I remember this is personal, but I want to bring it out so you can understand. I knew a woman, and it was like a long distance type relationship type thing, and it turned out to be a covert NARC. And you know, I was looking for answers after I went no contact. I don't know, I was just still looking for answers. One channel I came across was Terry Joel Jr. And I just watched some of his videos about, you know, you're learning about narcissism and all the, every facet of what they do and their tricks, all that stuff. And I came across this video, and I had been watching tarot, which is the reason I'm making this video. When I went to tarot, I'm not kidding you, I was getting the truth of who this person was. They're cheating, they're doing this, they're doing that. All the things actually that really helped me at the beginning. I became addicted to it. And I felt like I was, it felt like adultery to me after a while because of God. I felt convicted of it, and I had to stop. I kind of knew in my mind that it was wrong, but I wasn't too sure. You know, like I kind of knew it was wrong, but I didn't, you know, like, should I not ever look at this? And then I watched a video. I came into all this truth and everything about this by tarot. Go figure. I watched Terry Joel and his story, and it was kind of a match to mine about what a woman did to him. And he said the very same story. It was tarot that led me to the truth. And this, I believe he believes in God. Very strange. So I found a lot of answers at the beginning, but it's evil. It is. It just is. There are many things in there that are not true. But let's just get right to the bottom of this. How is this even happening? Number one, this is witchcraft. Stay the hell away from this. It will lead to death. The person I knew led to death. They were reading people's tarot. They were reading people. I'm not saying that was the cause, but that was what they were doing. You hear stories of things on Ouija boards, and you wonder if it's just some story someone's making. Some woman touched this awful thing happened, you know, like the whole group of women, something happened that was so scary and they're all traumatized now. I believe it. I believe many of these stories. And so what is behind the truth in it? How is that even happening? And so I think I'm in a unique position to explain this, and it might be difficult for you if you've never had a sleep paralysis dream. I do believe they're connected in a way that you understand. So if you believe that there are demons, check mark. You keep that in your mind. You believe that. You're getting a little further here. They're demons. They're not fallen angels. These are the spirits of the Nephilim that lived on this earth. Spirits live forever. That's why they'll be tormented forever. And they're the disembodied, meaning they don't have a body anymore, spirits. The ones that Jesus cast out, they cast out. You know, and even more can come back when you sweep the house type thing, but these things are real, and we don't know how many of them there are. But there's a spirit world. You hear stories of them taking over AI and doing strange stuff. You know this is the truth. The devil, who is the top of this all, a very, very powerful cherub, or he is not omniscient. He doesn't know everything. And I believe if you keep your mouth shut while you're in your home and going around doing stuff, the devil will not know. A Christian has a barrier of God that cannot be breached. But if you speak something out into the prince of the power of the air, they hear it. It's like they store away a file. That's what these things do. They live to hear and do whatever harm is possible to you when, I don't know how God permits things. But you can see when you think of your former life, when you were an addict or you were something like that, you were not of God. You had some type of spirits in you that were no good. Spirits of depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So these things, whatever you do, they've been following you your whole life. I'm not saying they're the exact same ones, but they're around us. You can't see them. But if you have a sleep paralysis dream, they either try to smother you, they can appear in front of you. I've seen it, and it looked like what I would explain as a demon, black eyes. Sleep paralysis. Go look this up if you don't believe me. This is uniform. There are 4 or 5 different methods that you can see in a sleep paralysis dream. You're choking, you're being sexually abused. It feels, you can feel it. It feels like sex. They choke you, you're floating. But there's another strange one where someone you know, it could be your mom, your dad, someone you saw once in your life, went to school with 50 years ago, will appear in front of you and be one of these, but it's not them. You've maybe read about the old hag. It's like that. They appear as people that you know, but it's not them. It's scary. But you don't have to be scared, though. And I wouldn't be surprised if I got it tonight just for speaking about this. I wonder why do you pick this night over other nights? So they know, they record. So for instance, if I'm trying to get information about the NARC, what have they done to me? What are they doing now to me? And you get some truth because they have a way of, they're all over the place in the spirit world. They're all over the place in the spirit world, and they can share information very easily. I don't know how they travel, but I imagine they know how to travel very quickly. And so they know not how to predict the future, but I'm sure they could have an idea, because they know what we're doing when they don't know what we're thinking, but what we're speaking and what has been spoken. They're incredibly intelligent. They're the disembodied spirits, which they have the genes of angels. That makes them, they're not of God. So there it is. Those things are always around. So be careful what you say. No, they cannot read your mind. They can't. But I don't know what they can do to someone who does not believe in the mind knowing what you think, I don't know. So there it is. They just know what you've been speaking. So if you and I suddenly could be, you know, like that movie, what was it, with Kevin Bacon, when he, what was it called? You know a movie I'm talking about, and he started to become evil because, you know, his body, he was invisible. So if we could suddenly do that and be around, you know, be around my neighbor, and then my neighbor's girlfriend is whatever, then I go over there, back and forth, back and forth. Sure, I could predict things. I could predict things. And that's maybe why things come true like that. But they also know things in the moment, and they can share information about a person. Be careful what you say. I think, yeah. And that's why I say I've never heard this explained. I didn't mean to say it in any way at the beginning. Sometimes I say that by mistake. But be careful about what you delve into. Remember what happened to Saul. Remember, God would not speak to him. He was after David all the time. And it was a battle, right? That he was going to against the Philistines, and God would not answer him. And he went, and he was the one who cast the mediums out of the land. But he invoked one and brought up Samuel, and the Spirit, you know, he died in battle, him and his sons. Saul, who came up from the grave, predicted his death and his sons, Jonathan and another son. And it happened, and then the Spirit was just taken away from Saul, and he died. So be careful what you do. This is witchcraft.